Hello Tubesers, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Yay, I did it right. This is the third attempt. Third attempt for a couple of shout outs. Just a quick one. I am in the process, as you know, of doing the little Hertzer. No, you're not Gav, and I'm not doing this again. Where did a Hertzer come into it? I'm building a Hornice stroke Nashorn. It is a Hornice, but more people know it as a Nashorn. In 15mm, so it wasn't a lot of building, but I've been doing scratch building for it and practicing sculpting. That'll come on a different video. Anyway, let's move swiftly along on that one. But the crew's painted, by the way, for that. The original crew that's a really top range sculptor has done. I've got one blob painted in Splinter camo. Camo does hide a lot of sins, sort of. Anyway, you're digressing again, Gav. Anyway, because of all that, different stuff comes up, and I'm looking over here now because I've said the name wrong twice, and how hard can it be? Two shout outs. They won't be ones some of you probably don't know. They're not. I've only been sub to each one for either a few days or a couple of weeks, depending on which one. So, first one up, guy's got about, I think he's only been going a year, he's got about nearly 40,000 subs. So it's a WW2 Wayfinder. It's a British guy. I don't know if he lives in Belgium, because a lot of the stuff is Ardennes related, Battle of the Bulge, but he also does do Italy. And he says he goes around Europe doing videoing the battlefields. What I like about this guy is it's not all rah rah rah. It's not all like showmanship type of stuff, that you can get on some channels. They've either got to be funny or they've got to be I don't know, it's almost like clown expressions. It's just a guy videoing what he's seeing, or talking to the camera in the places that he's at. I found it really interesting. I particularly I've got a couple of the books. I've got like Panzers in Normandy Then and Now, but what I'm trying to say is that I like Then and Now. So if you don't know what that means, is there's books that I don't know if Then and Now even exists anymore, but they were in the 70s and 80s. They would visit like European battlefields, and they would take photographs or show photographs of, say, a Panther tank knocked out next to a row of French shops in Normandy, and then they would go back to that place and show what, the exact position. The buildings are still there. Oh, look, there's some damage there. And it's just really interesting because although buildings, especially in the war-torn area, have to be patched up, rebuilt, a lot of the buildings that were there, and they might not have actually been battle damaged, but you get the idea. You get a really good idea, and you can say, well, blooming heck, that Panther tank was exactly there. And this guy's doing it in some of the Normandy areas, and showing the different views from looking at an old wartime photograph, or maybe two, and saying, well, from this direction it's here, and you can see it's just really interesting. It's done with remembrance in mind, if you know what I mean. As I say, it's not how can I get millions of subs and cracks and all that type of stuff. So the only thing I'd hope the gentleman does in the future, I'm British, he's British, I'm an ex-Tom soldier. I would like to see some British Canadian type involvement in some of the videos, because we were there in Europe. But if it's just the American side of it is his bag, no problems there. It isn't a nationalistic thing. I would just like to, I say he's doing it in remembrance. I would just like to see some British stuff at some point. Crossing the Rhine, the Scheldt estuary, Antwerp, I don't know, wherever, obviously through Holland. Never know. It's only been going a year, so there could well be some of that coming up at some stage. but very, very interesting, and they're not overly long, not like my videos, like even a shout out's half an hour. So go and check out WW2 Wayfinder. Got it again, second time. I'll put a link in the description. Again, if you just go, if you're interested in the war in Europe in World War II, if you're a modeler, war gamer, if you just got a passion, if you're a car modeler, but obviously, especially as it's all mainly American stuff that he's doing, you might want to go and check over. You know, covers some of the armoured divisions, obviously the parachute, 82nd Airborne, 101st Airborne. He's showing some of the places where, as he says, you know, and he's not meaning any detriment to Easy Company of the 101st, but because of Band of Brothers, it's like Easy Company won the war, even within the 101st. And he's just trying to say, well, yes, like the little village of Foy, Easy Company were there, but they were there for 7 hours. These other companies within the regiment were there. Armour was there, American Armour was there. You know, he's just, so he's going into a bit more depth, and just to dispel some of the myths that get built up around subjects. But not even just that, just generally, I say they're there and, you know, walking around saying this happened on this street corner. Here's a photograph of, say, these American soldiers passing this corner of this building, but that was exactly here. And you really get a grounding from that old black and white photograph. They could have just been walking past, you know, 5 minutes ago. So go and check that guy out. I don't know the gentleman's name, that's why I'm calling him Guy Gentleman. But I wish him all success, because he does it with remembrance in mind, and helping to, in my opinion, bring out the stories which are often overlooked, or I wouldn't say misinterpreted, but a lot of military history these days is seen through the prism of war films, and that's all people see. You know, as a kid, I saw, say, Battle of the Bulge, and when I got some money slightly later in life, in my late teens, I went out and bought books on the Ardennes. Now, again, you might have to buy a couple of three. Again, some authors are better than others. Some have got a different viewpoint, and you have to buy a few just to see where your mindset fits in those books. And I think that guy does that on that channel. So go and check it out. Give him a sub. You know, it's well worth putting on. And as I say, they're not huge. I think maximum about half an hour. A lot of them are like 15-16 minutes. Right, that's the first one. It's just a shame I can't put a name to it. The second one moment. Right, just had to make sure. As I say, I normally write all these down. I don't know why when I've got a computer here with them all on. But anyway, it's Octopus Scale Models. He's got 570 subs at the moment. I came across him maybe a week or two ago, I can't remember now. And he put up a couple of videos of, I'm just reading it here without glasses, how to build an old French farmhouse. And instead of doing foam, which a lot of people seem to have moved on to now, he's doing, he makes a mould out of plaster of Paris, I believe. And I'm just looking at the photograph there now. It was brilliant to see. He put the roof on and that. And while it's still damp, he'll take some plaster out, put some brick formation, brick where the plaster's dropped off, the bricks are on the other side, window frames, just general. But he's a scale modeler, he's not just a die maker, and his last one was how to paint a US soldier figure, and that was only 2 minutes 31. The other ones are only like about 5 and 7 minutes a piece. They could be longer because I just love that type of stuff. So if you're a scale modeler, it's 1 in 35 scale that he does. His name's George, so it says on the welcome to the channel thing. I think if you're a scale modeler, you really can't pass him up, because though he doesn't do the voiceovers, he'll put the blurb up, so and he seems to be happy enough to answer his comments as well, which is always good. So I keep looking over there to see if I'm not missing anything. But then on the second video, he does all, obviously, as you expect, the painting and that the building, and it really does look good. It's I mean, he's used card for the tiles, and just like just normal stock card, I take it. And it just shows you, we're lurching towards more and more 3D printing everything, and you can get files for roof tiles. There's a rhyme in there somewhere, or maybe even a song. And it just shows like the art of scratch building your own stuff hasn't gone. People are still doing it. I say he just literally had formed up a basic shape. I can't remember what he used now to do that, but it'll be on the video. Poured his stuff in. He got his window frames ready, and his door frame and everything. So it all went round. Once it dried enough that it wasn't going to break up, lifts it up, and it's one of these where he's not building the whole building. It's like the frontage, so he's got it in an L shape. And I hope he carries on, because he's got a lot of talent, and I wish him a lot of success. I mean, to only have a few videos up and have 570 subs, that tells you something. I mean, Echo was 10 or 11, 12 years, and you know what I mean? It's just like chipping away at the coalface. But there's some guys that are just really talented, and people recognise that, and boom, they just take off. But I've always said I'm not into just shouting people with low subs. I'll shout people, and I don't always shout people that I interact with particularly. It's just, I think, bringing to other people's attention channels that are worth taking a look at is always a good thing. So it's Octopus Scale Models and WW2 Wayfinder. I've enjoyed them, and that's all that matters really. So look after yourselves. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look. Coming up, I've no idea, to be honest with you. It's been slack on the soldier. For all the guys that follow me for the Napoleonics and things like that, they will be coming back. I've got my own Napoleonic collection, Prussians, which I've got to do one tidy up, things going around all 12 figures, and just making sure I haven't got a bit of red paint on it where there should be white paint, that type of stuff. So I've got to do that. I'm still undecided what base size to put those on. I didn't really see the sense in chucking up another video. I'm not doing it for video's sake. So once they're based, we'll have a look at those. I will, at some point in the next couple of weeks, I'm not sure yet, I will probably get a Napoleonic unit to do in 28mm. I'm undecided yet. Still painting the Epic, which I'll pop up for sale. They're all, the only thing that changes with them is that I would like to say the cuff and collar colours on the British. Unfortunately though, they're all Royal regiments, and they've all got blue. And this is now, the one I'm doing at the moment is the Royal Scots. So I thought, rather, I normally throw up a quick video with a couple of bases of ones I've painted, but I just thought nobody can tell the difference really. So they could be Grenadier Guards or First Foot Guards, Second Foot Guards, anything with Royal in that gives them a blue collar and cuffs. So yeah, I'll get around to showing them, but not till I've either done them all in their base probably. And that's about it really. I've got a couple more sprues on order. I just had to do it. The little Hornies. I've got a King Tiger. No, I haven't. I've got a Mark 1 Tiger coming. And that's got all the Zimmerit in, from what I can see, or Zimmerit on. So I'm thinking of doing that for Normandy. And I've got an SDKFZ 250 in the Recce roll, Hanamag half track, and I'm undecided. I know I said I might make that Hornies Dio larger and put the Hanamag in as well, or I might just leave it for a separate. I'm not going to go crazy on all these. That's enough now. I was only going to buy one, and I wanted a Hanamag and then I saw the Tiger and it got all the Zimmer on, and I thought, oh, I've got to give that a go. So I've got a Tiger to do in 1 in 35 scale that Greg Riley sent me. I'd sent some Russian Zvezda kits up to him because I couldn't make them, and he was very kind. I didn't want anything for him, but he always helps me out over the years, and but he still wanted to send a kit down, and he sent this AFV Club Mark 1 Tiger, and I can't remember what I can do with it, but I'm probably going to do it something like 101st Abteilung heavy tank battalion of the Liebstandard. So when that gets round to it, I don't know yet, because I've got to try and do Zimmerit, and the price of Zimmerit applicators are ridiculous, and I've looked on 3D printing and there's not much chop there that I've really fancied, so I've got to work out to do that, and I need to buy some tracks for it as well. So that'll be done when it started and whatever, when I want to do it. I've got other, as usual, stuff. Little Jeep, yep, that's still on the go. I'm going to do some work on that tonight. Anyway, I'm digressing again. So yeah, figure wise, I have got a 40mm figure to show you next week. One of the Perry miniatures, 40mm Napoleonic French voltigeur that I'm painting up to sell. There's some other bits. I'm like this because I can't remember that there was other bits I wanted to show you. Gone. Anyway, look after yourselves. Anybody's got any sense, they'll just go straight to the description and press, if you're going to press on, and follow those two guys, because this has gone way too long. Look after yourselves. Thank you very much.